Monday marked the first day of high school football practice in North Carolina. Carolina Preps was on the scene to see two of the top programs in the state in action. We first stopped by Laurinburg to Scotland High School to see new head football coach Richard Bailey and the Fighting Scots. Then we made the trip over to Rockingham to see their arch rival and Southeastern Conference foe Richmond County. Here's what head football coach Richard Bailey had to say about the Fighting Scots and his first day at the helm as the new football coach at Scotland.
I'm here at Pate Stadium at Scotland County High School with Scotland County football coach Richard Bailey. Coach, first practice of the year, changing colors, you moving forward with a new team, a very talented team, but a new team nonetheless. Kind of give us your impressions of the first practice today.
I told the kids afterwards, in my 22 years of doing this, I've had a lot worse practices. It was a pretty good first day. Going to camp last week really kind of accelerated the learning. We definitely weren't having to start over from scratch. We've been at it hard pretty much all summer. I thought the kids worked hard. They got through county fair, which is always tough. Those circuit training there to start practice is a killer for some of those kids, but they're in pretty good shape. But overall, I was very pleased. The kids worked hard. The coaches, tempo of practice was good. I'm having to get used to doing a lot more walking around, a little less coaching. We have a very good staff, so I'm kind of gone from a hands-on guy to try to, sit back a little bit and just look at the little details and take care of some of the management stuff. But, I'm just blessed to be in this situation.
Now, we're starting early here this morning, first practice of the year. One thing that the state association and all the associations throughout the country is focusing on is heat injuries. And I noticed your trainers had a very in-depth speech. What precautions are you making to prevent heat injuries and to help these kids through this hot weather?
Well, the one thing we're preaching to them, the importance of eating 3 meals, but also to hydrate throughout the day. Tomorrow is more about what you do today. You can't wait until you get dehydrated, try to hydrate yourself. It's all about, prior hydration. So, and we got a big water tub out there that we got a place to cool them down with ice immediately if we need to. We got water, throughout our practices and from station to station, the kids are allowed to drink as much water as they need. But you just got to be careful. We all want to win football games, but I don't want one to die on my watch. And so we're gonna do everything we can and keep the kids educated about what they need to be doing to stay hydrated throughout especially these dog days of summer.
Now, you have been coaching in North Carolina for about 24, 25 years. You've been to 3 state championship games yourself. You're taking over here a team that's fresh off of a state championship victory. How do you gauge expectations? I know expectations at Scotland always are through the roof to begin with, but especially your success and coming to a school off the success. What kind of outlook can we expect here at Scotland?
Well, one thing, I'm always going to have high expectations for myself, and every year, we're going to think we can win every game. I'd rather be in a place like this where the expectations, even if sometimes they get out of whack and a little unrealistic, I'd rather be there than where the expectations are, I hope we win a game or two. Obviously, the bar set high after last year. Coach Williams and them had a magical season, but what I've been telling people is, I haven't won the state championship, and I've been to 3 of them, so I know what it takes to get there. And I also know this: it's harder to stay there, to stay as one of those upper echelon teams. And I want to make sure my mission is to make sure that last year wasn't just a flash in the pan, that it wasn't a one-year thing, that we're going to continue to build a program here where every year, when we have a down year, it's an 8-9 win year, not a 2-win year. That's my goal, is when the bad years are like that, that's when you have it going. We have plenty of talent. We have plenty of talent. There's a lot of learning that has to go on. We obviously could use a few more linemen, but everybody says that. So, but I think we have the ability to be very good this year again.
Now, you mentioned having a program here. One thing that Scotland is called, it's definitely a program. You don't just have a collection of good teams year in and year out. One thing, traveling down Highway 74, in North Carolina, I always relate North Carolina almost to the ACC, but once you hit this Highway 74 threshold, it almost turns into SEC, almost a South Carolina type atmosphere. You moved from Fayetteville, which is a great city in itself for high school football, but tell me a little bit about, you've moved here, you've now purchased a house in the community, maybe the support and just the overall emphasis put on the program by the community here.
Well, you can probably see in the background, you move down here, the stadiums get bigger, the grass gets nicer, we got a nice field house, we got a great weight room. I went from, Jack Britt, where he had one 100-yard field, to I've got 2 complete 100-yard practice fields and another about 40 or 50 yards that we can use. it's just the emphasis, the focus, the importance of it. And like you said, Fayetteville's a hotbed of football and has great talent in that area. But what you have here is just tremendous fan support, community support in this area. It is important at Richmond and Scotland, and that you go across the border at Marlborough, but even even Anson, who struggled, but it's still football is important, and that's what I liked about it. That's what drew me here, is the fact that on Friday nights, man, it's the only show in town, and the fans are really going to support. The community is going to want Scotland to be successful, and they're going to give me the resources to make that happen.
And one final question. You mentioned the stadium here behind us. I've noticed all the construction equipment on the front side of the stadium. Any update on the status of the upgrades?
They keep telling me it's going to be ready for our first game, so I'm just putting my trust in Coach Britt and the Miss Ammons and the superintendent that they're going to get it done. And they said once they really start adjusting it, it's not more than a 2-week process, and they're actually starting to mess with it now. So, we got 2 weeks. We got about 2 weeks, so hopefully they're right.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time, my coach, and good luck the rest of the season.
When we arrived at Richmond County High School, the Raiders had already taken the field. Coach Paul Hargard's troops was hard at work trying to improve on last year's uncharacteristic 8-win season. The Raiders are loaded with talent and will be one of the top teams in the 4A, and definitely a threat to win the 4AA state championship.
Push off. Stick. Nope. Sit. Nope. Go. Sit. Go. Zach. Sit. Nope. All right, Malcolm, back up a little bit. Dre, you're going to kind of let them push you, all right? Hey, Malcolm, all I want you to do is fit a hip. All right, here we go. Lean into him, Dre. Ready? Sit! Press! Find it! Bang! Right, that's it right there. There, linebacker, just switch what you did. Here we go. Press and find. Ready? Sit! Press and find. Boom! Right there. All right, here we go. Hey! Free technique to linebacker. Line up! Fit a hip, Josh. I don't care which one. Fit a hip. All right, Rome, you're facing hands in it now. Facing hands. Now you're going to press out, fine. Press him in, fine. Ready? Sit! Bang! Right there. There we go. There we go. Good. Here we go. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Pound in the ground. Pound in the ground. Pound in the ground. Ready? Hey! Find it! Find it! Boom! That's not bad, Cole. That's not bad. Here we go. One more time. Here we go. Ready? Hey! Pound it! 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 Drive. That's it. Just keep driving it. There you go. Good job. Pound. Boom. Right there. Don't let your feet come together. So we gotta go one more time. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us here at Carolina Preps today. Stay tuned for more videos as we cover the state throughout the course of this preseason leading up to the first games on August the 17th. Carolina Preps is your #1 source for high school football news. Follow us at Carolina Preps 1 on Facebook and at Twitter for the latest news, scores, and updates throughout the state.